When you're a child, you have hopes and dreams, and usually, as far-fetched as they might seem, you've always had the smallest glint of hope of any of them coming true. Some children would have wanted to become a superhero, some would have wanted to live in their favorite media, and mine, like many other children, wanted their favorite video game characters to come to life. I was never sure what I would do if they did, but ever since I was young, my favorite video game has always been Pokemon. I'm an adult now, and I've been playing for as long as I could remember. I never really had a favorite Pokemon. I loved all of them all the same. They were all special to me, and I treated them as if they were my closest friends. It's so funny to picture myself as a small innocent child who just wanted their video game creatures to exist in the real world so I could have a friend. I guess that's what childlike wonder does to you. It was just one faithful day when I decided I wanted to play Pokemon again. I managed to find my old Game Boy Advance hidden deep in the crevices of my closet, and I dusted it off and immediately went and bought a copy of Pokemon Sapphire off of eBay. I was there when Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald were just being announced, the newest Pokemon generation at the time. It was all so new and exciting. Now seeing the intro sequence felt nostalgic. I knew the music like it was second nature. Little Root and its music felt so refreshing. It felt so good to start a new adventure again. I played for hours on end. The game had me hooked as if it was the first time I had played it. But I knew I had to stop eventually. It was getting late and I had to work tomorrow. So I saved my game in front of the Lava Ridge gym where I had just defeated Flannery. But before I closed the game, I decided to look over my team one last time for tonight. I had overleveled my Pokemon prior to the gym because I wanted to make sure to beat Flannery as soon as I can, and to prepare my team for the next gym battle against Norman. My team so far were as thus: Swampert male level 37, Curlia female level 29, Swellow female level 31, Breloom male level 30, Mightyena male level 33, Ninjask male level 30. Everybody but my Curlia had become fully evolved, but I knew that she would evolve one level later, so I thought nothing of it. Looking at my team, I couldn't help but smile. Little me would have loved to be all of your friends in real life, I thought to myself. I quietly shook my head and closed the game, heading off to bed for tonight. Next morning I woke up and went off to work. It was just your average job at a convenience store. I was a cashier who just had to stay until the night shift started. During breaks, though, I snuck into the back room to continue to play Sapphire, where I grinded up my team a bit more and eventually evolving my Curlia into the now elegant Gardevoir. Seeing her evolve felt great. I had a team full of fully evolved Pokemon now. I watched as the Pokédex recorded Gardevoir's data. Number 282, Gardevoir, Embrace Pokemon. Height, 5 foot 3 inches. Weight, 106.7 pounds. Gardevoir has the psychokinetic power to distort the dimensions and create a small black hole. This Pokemon will try to protect its trainer, even at the risk of its own life. I closed out of the Pokédex entry, saved my game, and went back to work. I think I made some good progress. Now my entire team is fully evolved, and I'm ready to face off Norman. But I was incredibly happy to see my Curlia evolve. It felt so good. It was like I was a real trainer. And safe to say, I was proud of her. She worked hard, and now she's fully grown. Once my shift was over, I headed back home and opened my Game Boy. Strangely enough, it was dead. That was weird. I could have sworn I charged it back at work. It's no biggie though. Just an hour or two on the charger and it'll be good as new. Unfortunately for me, I guess I was just a little too tired that night. I left my Game Boy to charge, but fell asleep just a few minutes later. I didn't even realize I'd fallen asleep until I was rudely awoken by some noise clattering against my hardwood floors. I passed out on the couch. Everything was dark. Damn, did I forget to turn the lights on when I got home? I guess I was in a rush to play some more Pokemon. I blindly tried to look for the light switch, holding my hand in front of me as I waved it around for something to hold. Soon enough, light came pouring into the room. That was a relief. But as I looked up, I was nowhere near my light switch. I was just facing a wall. I must be more tired than I thought. If this is a hallucination, then at least it made me know where everything in my house was. I should go and lay down in bed. It's been a long enough night, and I really should get some rest. That was, of course, until I heard her. "Trainer." I stopped. Am I tripping? Was I hearing things? "Behind you." I looked back. I fell to the ground as I kicked back in surprise. A tall, slender humanoid figure was right there in front of me, with a body pale as ivory and eyes red as wine, a sharp horn protruding from her chest, and what looked like a dress. It wasn't without a shadow of a doubt that this was a Gardevoir. This was my Gardevoir. The light that filled the room was her using the move Flash. "What the hell?" I mumbled in shock. I could feel my lips quivering and ice-cold sweat beating down my forehead. What the hell was going on? Am I having a dream? "This is not a dream," she spoke, but her lips never parted nor opened. It's a psychic type. Of course she was communicating via telepathy. "I thought you would be happy to see me." "What?" I exclaimed. "What? Why? What the hell is going on?" "I know you," said the Pokemon. "I have seen your childhood. You wanted me to exist." I couldn't even say anything before she kept talking to me. "I am devoted to you, trainer," she spoke. "You love me, and I love you as well." I couldn't even talk. I couldn't move. Was any of this real? Was I losing my mind? Have I gone insane? I wish I knew. It was only a few moments, but it felt like an eternity. I closely observed the creature that was in front of me. She was nothing like I would have ever imagined a Gardevoir to look like. What people would usually expect was soft, smooth skin and thick green hair atop her head. Seeing the Pokemon right in front of me, none of those were true. Her skin was rough. It looked like her skin was dry and begun to chip away. You could see every wrinkle and texture on her uncomfortably slim body frame. What looked like hair wasn't hair at all. It was somehow leathery, like the back of a snake or the shell of an armadillo. What I expected to have been soft and silky was stiff and rigid. It was like a helmet atop of her head, if anything. The dress didn't look like fabric. It looked like it was made of the same material as her skin. Her eyes were glossy and glassy, awfully large for the size of her head, and their snake-like pupils stared right at me. The spikes on the side of her head were almost akin to fins. The spikes were made of a pale white webbing that you can almost see through, and the horn was awfully sharp. It never looked like that in game, but the horn in the center of her chest looked like a weapon. It was sharp enough to tear through just about anything. It was deep crimson in color, and I swore I could see my reflection through its shine. "Trainer." Her words suddenly made me snap back into reality. "You love me, and I love you as well." I felt sick. It took me all the power I could to stand up and run to the bathroom. I slammed the door shut and locked it. I ran to the sink and clumsily opened the sink, splashing water onto my face as I tried to regain my composure. But as I looked back up, Gardevoir was standing right behind me. I yelled in shock, throwing my body to the side, but accidentally hitting the back of my head against the sink. It hurt bad. I put my hand behind my head in hopes to ease the pain, but it just wouldn't go away. I couldn't help but start crying. I was too overwhelmed. "Trainer," the creature spoke again. "Did this hurt you?" She gestured towards the sink and faced it. Her eyes turned a blinding blue as a loud booming noise filled the room. My ears started to ring as she had destroyed the entire sink. It was flooding water now. She turned to me. "I will do anything to keep you safe." I felt the water pooling around my legs and feet. I hugged my head and fell to the ground. I can't see. I was so scared. What the hell was happening? Why was it happening to me? I'm hurt. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. "This isn't what I wanted," I spoke weakly. Gardevoir simply cocked her head to the side. "I do not understand," she spoke. "You love me, and I love you as well." I just curled tighter in a ball in a pool of water. "Stop saying that," I begged. "I do not understand," she repeated. "I thought you would be happy. I thought you had loved me." She was growing more and more agitated. Her eyes glowed a bright blue again, her dress flowing in the air stiffly. "I thought you had loved me." And the ringing began again. I clutched my ears and head tighter, but the sound was too much. I couldn't hear a thing. I looked up and saw all of my walls had been torn apart. Dust and wood are flying everywhere. Her psychic powers had destroyed my house. Metal filings and wooden splinters scratched and scraped my body, and hers especially. The Gardevoir's body was starting to bruise and bleed from the objects hitting her. "I thought you had loved me." I couldn't hear a thing. All I heard was her yelling into my mind. "I thought you had loved me." Over and over and over and over and over. I wish I could make her go away. I never wanted this, nor had I asked for this. She was destroying my home. She was destroying me. Her screaming just became louder and louder. I couldn't hear a thing. I couldn't hear a thing. I wanted to open my eyes, but I couldn't see a thing. All I saw was the water beneath me and what used to be my house encircling the both of us. I looked at the Gardevoir, who threw her hands up in the air. "I thought you had loved me," she spoke, her hands positioned in front of her chest, right in front of her horn. "I did all I could to see you, and you treat me like this. You never loved me." She spat at me, words dripping with spite, and her hands started to form a dark black hole right out of thin air. "You did not deserve my love." The black hole grew larger and larger. I could feel myself getting pulled into it. I would have tried to stop it if I wasn't so weak. "You deserve nothing." I was pulled into the dark, and I could have sworn she pulled herself in too. Maybe in the vast emptiness, I will learn to love her as much as she loved me.